been saying this all along. I mean, I'm like a broken record, but you know, obviously you'll pay attention when Martin Scorsese says it. So I say it, and people are like, what? But then when Master Martin says it, this is so interesting. This was in an article in Harper's Bazaar that was about, it was about Sharon Stone, but they had a quote from him about, you know, actors auditioning. And here's what he says. How many times have you heard me say this? He says, what you're looking for, meaning the director, is not for someone to give you exactly what you envision, but to surpass it, to use their own intelligence and instincts and imagination and talent to bring the character to life. Actually, to get to a place where they're surprising themselves. That is the art of what we do here. So everything is mapped out for you, and every actor can go in and do something perfectly. Martin Scorsese is saying that's not the answer. The answer is how do you want to show him or anyone the way you do it, which is inherently going to be weird and funky and different and surprising and original, because you all are original. Please, can you just keep banging your head and realizing that you are of value, you are of worth, there is something interesting about you. You have to be willing to bring the humanity to something that seems to be so perfect. You know, I coached this kid today for this new Showtime show, and it was interesting. He's good. When I mean he's fine, he's really, really good. I use the word fine a lot, meaning it's all good. But the best stuff was when he made mistakes. God damn it! Because when he would make mistakes, it would breathe and get just really weirdly human, as opposed to, I'm perfecting. See, it's more funny when you up. When you up and you don't freak out about it, there's something inherently human about it. Got it? Can you just be more human? Perfect segue. I think your challenge, all of our challenges in life, is dun-da-da-da. I never bring it to class, if you notice, except for tonight, because we're going to do a little thing with music. These GD devices. I think technology, I had an epiphany about this, I think technology is destroying our ability to be human. You heard it here first. In another 20 years, we are all going to be driven by this. Here's case in point. There was an art, I mean, listen, that comes down to the minutia. Watch how these things, devices, keep us from actual connection. Partly it's about, look, there's no judgment about it because I also suffer from it as well. I'm like, when did all this happen? 8 years ago, 10 years ago, it wasn't about this shit. Now all of a sudden, we've become co-opted without us realizing we're so addicted to it. And I was just thinking about, like, whether it's hiding behind a cell phone, pretending when we're on it, when we're not, because our own self-esteem and self-worth isn't, you know, strong enough being just who we are, so we have to mask it and feel comfortable hiding behind another device. It contributes to our ADHD. This is new science. It creates an inability for people who are on, you know, computers or technology all the time. It creates an inability for them to register people's facial reactions in an empathetic and real way, which is really kind of scary, especially for young kids. So they can't tell if somebody is like weird or dangerous, but let alone just the whole empathetic aspect, being compassionate. And then I also, just the big breakthrough is, because you all know I've talked about Tinder, is that it's eroding our ability to really be with people. Listen, this is my challenge, but of course it was vindicated because Vanity Fair's cover article this month is all about Tinder dating, and it's basically about the dating apocalypse is here because of Tinder! Now, it's not just Tinder, it's all those sites, but I think because Tinder is the most popular, and I highly advocate anybody who is on any kind of dating app, you should read that article. Actually, even if you aren't, you should just read it, period. And you know what? When I was reading it, I was like, holy shitballs. Again, I'm not saying I don't suffer from the same thing, but I realized what's no longer happening because it's dictated by the rules of the dynamic of the relationship with the phone, is that things that often, intimacy that's created by getting to know somebody through connection and allowing yourself to be weirdly human as you get to know somebody, that part has been cut out. There is no room for it. So something that would take 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 months to get to know somebody, I've discovered this. From hello to flirting to asking someone out to getting a phone number to being in courtship to exchanging pics, rated G kind, to expressing your feelings to dating exclusively to making a commitment to exchanging X-rated pics to hooking up to making plans together but then being too busy, then not hearing from them, then being avoided outright to getting a divorce. That happens in 30 minutes. That is it! That's the experience! Everything is fast-forwarded to an end result without there is no experience. There's no experience. So then what happens? You move on to the next, only to repeat the pattern. Kids, for those of us who are single, it's a real conundrum. And I think it has huge implications about how technology is driving behavior. That's the big insight. As actors, your own behavior of being human has to drive behavior. So we have to keep finding ways. God, acting is the art form of sharing humanity back with itself. If we lose that, what do we got?